Hey everyone, welcome to another video from KillerReviews.com. So today we're talking about John Wick. And let me tell you folks, this is one hell of a movie. This is one of those, I get a lot of people talking to me, messaging me on the various social media sites or on Killer Reviews forums. And they'll say, hey, Butch, you gotta check out this movie, dude. You'll love it. I get that all the time, right? And some of them I watch and, they're okay. Other ones, people really nail it. And John Wick is probably one of the most popular movies that people have been telling me to see, I'd say, in the past year. And it stars Keanu Reeves. It came out in 2014. It's an action movie. And let me give you a bit of the plot. Now, I'm going to tell you the first 5 minutes of the movie, alright? If you don't want to hear anything about the movie, then just skip ahead maybe 30 seconds, and I won't give any other plot away. But I don't think it's a spoiler. It's in the first 5 minutes. But Keanu Reeves is an ex-assassin. He's retired. And the opening of the movie, we learn that he was married and madly in love with his wife. His wife dies, and within a week, I guess, maybe, of his wife's death. Actually, I guess we don't really know how long it was. I'm assuming within a month or so. Within that time, shortly after his wife dying, I should say, he's going to get gas in his local town where he lives. And a group of people who we don't know yet talk to him about his car, and they want to buy his car. And John Wick drives a very, very nice car. And if I wish I could tell you what it is, but I don't. It looked really cool. It reminded me of the car in Phantasm, but I don't know anything about cars. It had 4 tires. It was black. It looked really cool. It went really fast. John Wick says the car's not for sale, and he leaves. These guys at the gas station are clearly not your regular people. So John Wick, those people break into John Wick's house, and they kill his dog that his wife left him, and then beat the crap out of him and steal his car. So basically, that happens in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and John Wick gets revenge on the people that did this. Now, there's way more to the plot, obviously, but I'm not going to give that much away. I just feel like some people would want to know what the movie's about, okay? So John Wick, it's basically John Wick getting revenge is the basic plot of the movie. And lots and lots and lots of killing bad guys. So, also in the movie, as far as starring roles go, there's a lot of foreign names I'm not even going to try to butcher. Bridget Moynihan, she's in the movie, and Dean Winters, Ian McShane, John Leguizamo, and Willem Dafoe. So, it's got a really good cast, and I thought I would fill you in a little bit about just some cool tidbits about the movie. Let's see. It was directed by Chad Stahelski and David Leitch. And these guys did stunts for the Matrix trilogy. Amongst, if you look at their credits on IMDb, it's just... it's literally over 100 movies of just huge, big blockbuster big blockbuster movies. But these guys were a lot of who did the stunts they're huge as far as the stunts are involved. All the stunt work on those movies. So it's written by Derek Kolstad, and let's see here. Derek's inspiration for the movie was film noir classics, themes of revenge and anti-hero. And John Wick was written with a man of his 60s in mind, and the writer Derek, he had imagined Paul Newman as the role of John Wick. a very older, seasoned assassin, and let's see, given the title of character, his fabled reputation and revered and respected assassin is what as the lead role was described. However, the head producer of Thunder Road Pictures was of the belief that it was irrelevant, the age was irrelevant, and he thought that they would look for someone who was not literally older, but who had a seasoned history in the film world. Which I thought was really interesting. I mean, I really can't imagine, like, a 60-year-old, 65-year-old making a movie like this, being in the lead role. But, I mean, that's a really good point, because even though Keanu Reeves isn't nearly that old, he does bring a sense of history, in film. And somehow that kind of comes across as, like, a seasoned assassin, too. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he feels like he would have 20 years experience in this, I guess, as opposed to 40, but as far as experience in assassinating people. So, Thunder Road Pictures contacted Keanu Reeves for the project, and Keanu Reeves contacted Chad and David, the directors, who originally met, on the Matrix series. And after reading the script, here we go, Stahelski and Leitch, the directors, told Reeves they wanted to tell the story of John Wick, as they both had the desire to get involved with the project as directors. Impressed with Reeves' enthusiasm and quality of the script, the directors told him that they wished to direct the film. See, Reeves approached them for the stunt work for the movie. I mean, that's a huge part of the movie. But he had hoped maybe they'd be interested in taking on directing the movie. And sure enough, they were. And then more script. So much work went into the script at every stage of the writing process. And everybody had the same... everybody had their own little twist on, like, making tweaks within the storyline. But everybody had the same vision. And Keanu Reeves, reading through... I mean, the wiki page is huge for this movie. It took me a while to read through. But Keanu Reeves, he was very... He loved the idea of the project, but he wanted to make sure that all of the... Like, the success of the movie relied on all of the characters being fleshed out, and the whole world being very real, not just him. And I thought that was... an interesting point to read, because that's exactly, like, if you don't have that, the movie is not nearly as good. Like, that's one of the reasons why this movie was one of my favorite movies of last year, and that's one of the reasons why is because that attention to the script, and even though there is an insane amount of action throughout the whole movie, the story still pushes forward, and, like, the action almost, like, helps the story move. It's not just like like Commando, where Arnold Schwarzenegger has to go save his daughter, and then the action sequences, like, just don't really mean much. It's just a way to show action. John Wick, the action is kind of the story as well. So, the directors approached the action scenes upon their admiration for, drew upon anime and martial art films. And films use a fight choreographers and gun fu techniques. That's interesting. From Hong Kong action cinema, works like John Woo's The Killer. It's one of my favorite action movies. And they go on to name a bunch of other movies here. Blah 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 blah. The spaghetti western subgenre is western films. John Borman's Point Blank in the spaghetti western genre. I can see that now, actually, now that I read that. So, I mean, there were a lot of things that I was going to talk about as far as the making of the movie, but it's a really good read if you want to check it out. It's a really good example of everybody working together to make one vision, as opposed to everybody, you know that saying, like, too many cooks in the kitchen? That's used a lot in the Hollywood interviews I hear. They're making the movies, I hear that a lot. It's not like everybody's trying to pull away and fight about their idea. They're all trying to contribute to one solid idea. So, some of my favorite parts of the movie here, I love the story. As far as negatives go, I don't have any negatives. I thought for a bit about negatives, and I don't have any. Okay, so I really liked the story. The idea is very simple. A man, gets a retired assassin gets revenge on the people that killed his dog. And I love the idea that a big part of the plot is his dog. If they broke into John Wick's house and stole his car but left the dog alive, I'm not sure John Wick would have went this nuts. But it was a dog. And I love that concept. It's so simple, like a puppy, right? It's not like these assassins killed John Wick's entire family, right? And he survived and he went back. They killed his dog. I think that's an interesting idea. So it's about an assassin that gets his car stolen and his dog killed, and he just goes off the rest of the movie. But and this is another part I love too. Throughout the movie, we find out that who John Wick is, because we don't even know who this guy is. But throughout the movie, and not even necessarily through John Wick, more or less the bad guys, we find out throughout the movie, through the bad guys, who John Wick is, why he's so pissed off, just in general, like, to this world, what happened to him in his past. And it's not like these excuse me. It's not like these really drawn out, like, back in 1980, John Wick, went to a gambling casino, and he took out everybody, but his sister was there too, and, his sister lost the baby. Like, it's literally, like, it's so not like a long Game of Thrones 10-minute story, right? It's just, like in one scene, the main head bad guy said, he's explaining to like one of his bodyguards who John Wick is, and he goes, I saw this man one time in a bar kill 3 people with a pencil. He goes with a pencil, and just that one sentence shows you so much. It just says so much about who he is, and I really like that. The movie kept moving and moving. That's another one of my positives. It moved. And there's one cool element here, and I read it in the notes somewhere. I don't know. I don't want to take the time, obviously, on camera to look it up. At some point, somebody brought, either the directors or the producer at Thunder Road, at some point somebody brought this boogeyman, this urban legend idea into the script, like John Wick is an urban legend, and it's like Batman comes to mind right now when people in the city are getting killed at night and stuff. And, and the goons go back to their boss, like, I don't know, like, it was just some weird man. Like, so, like, the whole city has this, like, once time passes, there's this urban legend of this guy who fights crime at night. John Wick had that urban legend vibe to it, where once upon a time, in the history of the city, there was this man, John Wick. And it's like, if you knew John Wick was coming for you, you were dead. And I love that. And the film is dark and gritty, and that vibe comes off so well. And trust me, like, I love movies that do this. John Wick is so good. He just wipes out a room of like 10 people. Like, I don't even know, in 30 seconds. And he just does that the whole movie. There's breaks in the action for some sequences and dialogue and stuff, but he just rips through, like, every action sequence. And, there's a lot of, like I say, like, kung fu influence here. There's very slick action, very cool moves that he does. Like, at one point, like he jumps on top of a car, and he's standing on the hood of like a big truck, and he shoots like right into the glass window. We've seen that before, but it's always cool to to see different types of fighting other than like the Expendables, you know what I mean? That type of basic. I mean, I like that movie too, but it's just really advanced fighting sequences in this movie. Oh, and John Wick, man, shooting people in the face. This dude, like, I would love to count how many. Well, I wouldn't like to count. I'd like to know how many faces get shot in this movie. It's nuts to see him just shoot people point blank in the face, like, over and over and over, and he's like killing machine, this guy. So, and great, there's just a good visual element to this movie. You know, John Wick's car, I mean, the whole thing is so cool. You know, like John Wick and his leather jacket and his black super hot rod car, and he opens up a case of guns. I mean, like, it's so like, I mean, I guess, like, I mean, it's like old school, like, just badass grindhouse type stuff, like, 70s vibe. I mean, not that the film feels like it doesn't feel like a 70s movie. It's just that type of revenge story, like the Hong Kong movies these guys reference. Like one of my favorite in Hard Boiled, an amazing John Woo movie. The main character just goes to a hospital. I think it's two people, but the main guy goes to a hospital and just goes floor to floor taking out people. You know, it's just phenomenal. So I don't think this movie is just for action nuts either. I don't like love every action movie I see because there's explosions or whatever. I like really. I love movies that have a very specific vision and a style. I love style. Like, I love Death Proof, Planet Terror. What was that one with, not Ryan Reynolds, Gosling, Drive. This reminds me of Drive. Just a very hard, rough, and tough movie. Awesome music. I'm sitting here. I want to watch it again so bad as I'm talking about it, so I can see it again. It is such a badass movie. I'm going to wrap it up. John Wick. I can't recommend it enough. Oh, and by the way, the movie wasn't called John Wick. I think it was called Scorned. If I can grab my wiki really fast. I just thought that was interesting. Oh, shoot. Yeah, Scorn. And Keanu Reeves kept calling it John Wick, and somehow they changed the name. But, okay, everybody. Hey, how long is the video? 17:48. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, I sure did ramble, didn't I? That's John Wick. You need to see it. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Alright, this is Greg with KillerReviews.com. Check out the Killer Reviews podcast. I'm on Twitter at Killer Reviews. And tell your friends about the video, share the video, help the channel grow. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.